What's going on, guys? Chuck back with another awesome Blu-ray purchase, and today I'm just going to go over a couple things I've picked up recently from Kino Lorber and Shout Factory, respectively. Not a whole lot, one or two, actually maybe two or three new releases. A couple that just came in the last day or two, so I'm really excited about that. But to get things started off, we'll start with something totally unrelated to one of those companies, and that is a Pixar film. And would be their most recent release, Turning Red. See here on this Blu-ray DVD digital combo set. This, of course, the most recent Pixar film. It was released on Disney Plus maybe a month or two ago. And needless to say, my daughter absolutely loves this movie. She watches it on loop constantly, and it's actually. Going in, I wasn't sure what to expect. I mean, I only seen the teaser, and I wasn't really sure what the premise of the film was. But I was pleasantly surprised. It's a little bit different in tone, I guess, to what Pixar would typically do, as this is a little bit of a nice coming of age film for young girls. I mean, there was things mentioned here. I was like, "Wow, I'm surprised they did that." But it's sweet, and there's a lot of good. Basically the premise of this girl is coming of age, and she realizes she has this family curse of when she, of becoming this red panda. I'm sure there's another term for it, but I can't remember what it is. But it's a great metaphor for obviously puberty and a lot of the crazy emotions and whatnot goes with that. But I think it's done really well. It's a little bit different than typical Pixar fare, but it's still cute. It's got a lot of heart, as usual. Like I said, Kara absolutely loves it. So I went and picked this up for her. Again, I think there is, I believe, an HD version, or excuse me, a 4K, but I just grabbed this one here. And so we got a couple special features on here. Take a look at those quick. In this set, see in here you've got all your Disney stuff, ads, flyers, promos for Disney Plus, and it's a 3-disc set. Now, one thing that kind of bothered me about this is that when you open this up here, because you've got here is your bonus disc. In here, you've got your DVD and your Blu-ray. Now, unfortunately with this, one of the little spokes here, this hub here, is broken. So this disc does tend to pop out. Not a big deal. These cases are easily replaced. Maybe a little harder to find a red one. Maybe not. I don't know. Never really looked. But that's really all there's in here. Gotta be really careful this doesn't fall out. Oh, I forgot the extra paraphernalia. There we go. So yeah, I mean, if you haven't seen it, I recommend it. It is on Disney Plus. If you've got that, check it out. It's a Pixar film. It's for the most part, that's all you really need. So now, on to the other features here. Excuse me. Start with the Kino Lorber, and this first one I picked up came in yesterday. I was kind of excited to see this one. As of late, maybe late last year or so, I've really been going through and trying to pick up a lot of classic 3D films. Like I've said before, I do have a 3D TV, so I'm able to watch, Blu-ray 3D, and I really enjoy more so, than the big blockbuster films that are out, in the 2010s around the Avatar, kind of brought that resurgence back to 3D. I was never much in that post-conversion 3D films. I always enjoyed the films, though, that were made specifically for 3D, shot with 3D cameras. Typically stuff from the 1980s, even a couple older films. I mean, I have like Creature from the Black Lagoon and Revenge of the Creature, both in real 3D, along with Vincent Price's House of Wax. So that's really cool, but especially in the 80s. And I've been able to go back and pick up a lot of these films on Blu-ray 3D. I'm really excited that they were able to put those out. One of my first ones was the Amityville 3D. And of course, the Friday the 13th Part 3, which is still the best 3D film I've ever seen in a theater. I digress. But and it's nice that they're still putting these out there, because I know that 3D TVs are not a thing anymore. So I'm really hoping mine holds out. It's held out as long as it has. And I said, when I bought mine, I bought it just, I really had no intentions of really wanting the 3D TV. It was affordable. I said, what the heck? Got it. And I'm glad I did, because I've really been able to enjoy it. And like I said, there's still companies putting out these Blu-ray 3Ds. Now I know there are home projectors that still play 3D, so there's that. But anyway, so from Kino Lorber, I picked up Treasure of the Four Crowns in Supervision 3D. You feeling that effect right there? This is one I've not seen, but I'd heard a lot about, specifically because it's made by the same people who did the film Coming At Ya, which coincidentally was kind of the launch point, if you will, kind of what started the resurgence of 3D films in the 80s. And this is a bonkers kind of, Western, the 3D has really played well here. I mean, so much so there's a scene where you get a baby's butt in 3D at you. Crazy. But yeah, it's made by the same people. And I thought it was really cool when Kino Lorber was releasing this, and in 3D. You see the Stereovision 3D. And it's got some nice features on here. It's audio commentary with the film historian, is it Jason Pachansky? We got audio interviews with star Tony Anthony. And what's cool, you've got the Blu-ray 3D, you've got Anaglyph 3D, which is the red and green glasses, and you have it in 2D. So that's awesome that, companies are doing that, because with Coming At Ya, it has 3D and 2D, but it doesn't give you the Anaglyph option. This is basically Blu-ray 3D or it's 2D. But here you get the chance to watch Anaglyph. And like last year, sometime I picked up Silent Madness from Vinegar Syndrome, and they did the same thing. They gave you the options to watch it in Blu-ray 3D, Anaglyph, or regular 2D. So here's take a look at the back cover here, the slip cover. Slide that out. Nothing, same image, no reverse artwork. But when you pop this open, you've got your, again, the basic Kino Lorber disc designs, which I really wish they would kind of do some nice artwork on the disc. But I mean, I guess this is signature Kino Lorber. And of course, which is really nice, they include a pair of 3D Anaglyph 3D glasses. If you don't have Blu-ray 3D, you can still watch in 3D now. Here, the Kino Lorber, and you've got the 3D film archive. They only come with one though, so you can't watch it with a friend. Of course, these kind of glasses are extremely cheap. You can buy them in bundles on Amazon for regular Anaglyph 3D glasses. I mean, they sell them. They really do sell them. It's like a Costco sale. They sell them in huge wholesale amounts, if you will. So there's that. But again, you've got it. Let's see, was there an image? Start now. Nothing in the back here. But it's really cool to get this in 3D, and again, have it in an option. And I've heard a lot of crazy things about this. I'm looking forward to popping this in the player and checking it out in 3D and just seeing what it's like. And maybe make it a double feature Coming At You. Who knows? So the other one I got today from Kino Lorber, this actually arrived today, and this was one that I was trying to pick up some time back, but it was out of print. It had been released from Scream Factory some years ago, but by the time I was able to start doing series collecting again, or starting series collecting, not really again, it was already out of print, and I couldn't pick it up. And I was, could have looked at a few places, eBay or whatever, but I did happen to catch a blurb that Kino Lover was going to be releasing this with a 2K master. And of course, that film is Without Warning, with Jack Palance and Martin Landau, little alien invasion sci-fi film. Like I said, Shout Factory, Scream Factory had released this some years back, no longer had it, but now, and that disc was very hard to pick up, but just released, like I said, delivered today from Kino Lover. I got this from Amazon, so I pre-ordered it and got it from there, delivered today. And from what I'm pretty sure that from what I can tell, that this is basically the same disc that Scream Factory released. The only difference being that this has a new 2K transfer. But I think all the special features on here are the same. Here's the back of that. Were the same features that were on the Scream Factory disc. So, you know, in essence, I still got that Scream Factory disc, but at least I got it with a nice new artwork and in a 2K transfer. So, pop the slip out here, and you see here's the reverse artwork, which I believe this was the Scream Factory cover. Of course, this is the poster cover. And it is reverse artwork, and of course the reverse artwork is the same as the slip cover. I'll show that to you real quick. See, just the same. And you've got your gray and black basic Kino Lorber disc. But pretty cool. I really like Kino Lorber has been releasing. I mean, this is like that I know of. I mean, just recently they did New Year's Evil, which was a Scream Factory release some time back. I was trying to get hold of it, and Kino Lorber got it. So really cool to be able to get a second chance to get, you know, and nice releases too. You know, with the slipcover and all that. So it's really nice. And they've got a couple. Kino Lorber, I've been keeping an eye on them. Maybe actually putting out a lot of really, I don't know, unique titles, or just they've got some hidden gems in there you don't think about. And they do a pretty nice presentation. I've got a couple other things that I've pre-ordered from them. I know they're releasing some 4K titles also. However, I think they're strictly 4K. They don't have 4K Blu-ray combos. But I'm looking forward to seeing what else they pick up, because I've been pleasantly surprised. So, now, going on to the Scream Factory Shop Factory portion of this video. I went through and picked up a couple titles just because I was kind of browsing through, see what I could pick up. And one of them was kind of a weird offshoot film based on a wacky TV game show that I remember watching as a kid. It's got a cult following. I don't know if it's really a good game show. I don't even know if it was really a real game show, to be perfectly honest with you. And then, of course, the show I'm talking about, referring to, was the late 70s, 80s film or show, The Gong Show, which was a wacky talent show where weird off-the-wall contestants would perform whatever acts they had, and you have a panel of judges or pseudo-celebrities would judge them, and if they liked him, you know, if they didn't like him, they would hit a big gong. It was crazy. We had Chuck Barris, who was like the host of this, who was totally, looked like he was coked out of his mind every single episode. And for all accounts, he probably was. I know there's a movie that I still have yet to see about him, and it's called, I think, Confessions of a Dangerous Mind, which I'd love to see. And I think Sam Rockwell, I believe, plays him in that film. And I've heard a lot of good things about that. One day I'm going to go around checking this out. But all that, I picked up the Gong Show movie. This is, again, one of those things I've heard a lot about as just why, and just so off the wall and weird. And of course, you know, the show itself is crazy. What kind of, you know, the movie is basically, it's like a week in the life of setting up a show or whatever, you know, with Chuck Barris's crazy issues or whatever he's going through to get the show on the air. I don't know, hilarity ensues. But it's just so off the wall. I figured, what the heck, I'll pick this up. It's crazy. I remember the Gong Show, and it's, you know, why not check it out? Scream Factory had it. It wasn't too highly expensive, or too very, I cannot talk. It was not too terribly expensive. So I said, what the heck? Not much of special features. You just basically got an audio commentary with pop culture historian Russell Dyball. And here's the back cover of that. So, again, here's a good look at the cover. Inside, you have your disc, and give you an idea of the kind of crazy acts you might see on the Gong Show. 2 guys, 3 guys, and then I don't know. There's a guy. There's a no with a mustache. I'll tell you that much. The show was wacky. It had sensors. It has problems with the sensors. You had infamous scenes like Gene the Dancing Machine, the Popsicle Girls. Which you don't know what that is, go look that up on YouTube. That was an interesting segment of the show. The Unknown Comic was very popular on there, or he was on there, and how popular he was. But the Gong Show was a part of pop culture. It still is to this day. And it featured in television shows. I think it featured, I believe, on Sanford and Son. I know it featured heavily on What's Happening at the time, the TV show What's Happening. But it was like I said, it was a pop culture phenomenon at the time. Ironically or not, I don't know, but it is what it was. So, again, the Gong Show movie. Next up, this one is kind of apropos due to the coming out here, I believe, sometime in June, I think it is Baz Luhrmann's Elvis biopic, which I'm looking forward to checking out. I'm a big Elvis fan. I really enjoy Elvis, his music. I have all his films. I haven't seen them all. I think about a third to half of them. I'm still working my way through those. And most of them they're all cookie cutter films, but they're enjoyable. But one of my favorite ones, Elvis films, is not even like an Elvis movie. It's This Is Elvis, kind of a pseudo documentary about Elvis. But what I picked up from Screen Factory, actually this is Shout Factory, it's one of their Shout Select titles, and that is John Carpenter's Elvis. Now there's a combination you wouldn't think too much about. John Carpenter's Elvis. But this is a TV movie that John Carpenter did, and this is in collaboration with Kurt Russell, which this was their first collaboration together of what would be a very long and profitable collaboration. And Kurt Russell knocks it out of the park as Elvis Presley in this telefilm. If it's like it's not long after Elvis had passed away when they made this. So this is a very enjoyable film. I remember seeing it sometime back. Like I said, it's been a long time since I've seen it, honestly, but I remember liking it. I really remember Kurt Russell just nailing it as Elvis, which is really cool. Because I think about, you go back to the movie It Happened at the World's Fair with Elvis, and of course Kurt Russell as a little child has a cameo where he kicks Elvis in the shin. So I think it's kind of cool that he was in a movie with Elvis, and years later he goes up to play Elvis. And the years after that, he'd be an Elvis impersonator in that 3,000 Miles of Graceland. And the best of all the ones in that film who were trying to impersonate Elvis, he was the best. And I believe it's kind of, as weird as it sounds, I think the next film that he did with John Carpenter was Escape from New York. So I don't know if that was, John saw him as Elvis, like, yeah, it's my Snake Plissken in some regards, but again, it was the beginning of a beautiful friendship. So you've got, as far as special features, you've got Bringing a Legend to Life featurette with archival interviews from Kurt Russell and John Carpenter, and yet clips from American Bandstand. So not much in the way of special features. I thought it was interesting that even though it is a TV film, it is shot in widescreen format. I believe it's in a 1:8:5 aspect ratio, so it's still widescreen. And let's see, let me flip this around. You've got, here's your disc art. Turn that around, there you go. And it does have a reverse slip cover with this little fancier, flashier cover. But I really like this image of Kurt Russell. I think it really sells it, the whole image of Elvis and his performance very well. So, and again, perfect timing with the Baz Luhrmann film coming out in like a month or so, which from the trailers, I'm looking forward to really, I've said for years I've always wanted a big budget Elvis biopic, and I'm surprised it took this long to make one. So I'm looking forward to checking that out and see how it plays out. I mean, Tom Hanks is playing Tom Parker Colonel Tom Parker in that, so it's Tom Hanks, so that's going to be something right there. The performer who's playing Elvis in that film, I don't remember his name, it's not someone I'm familiar with. And from the trailer, I can't really grasp how his performance will be, but a few bits and pieces I see, I really feel like physically he's capturing him, the essence of Elvis. I mean, obviously, as an actor, you're not going to try and do a perfect impersonation, because then it's an impersonation, you're not acting with it. But I think he's doing a good representation of Elvis from what I've seen there. And, some of the lines, some of the dialogue, I can hear the Elvis voice. Again, the trailer, it's actually a long trailer, almost 2.5 minutes, maybe 3 minutes. But you don't get much of the voice. So I'm looking forward to the film to see how he sounds. But from the body language and what I've seen, image-wise, I think he does a good job of embodying Elvis. So looking forward to seeing that movie when it comes out. Now, the last film in this set that I picked up from Screen Factory is one newer release, one of their big releases they had planned for May, and that is Cursed, the Wes Craven film. This is the collector's edition. And this is probably one of their, at least at this point, last basic collector's edition Blu-rays, because everything they've been putting out recently are 4K Blu-ray titles, and most of them are titles they already have in their catalog that's upgrading to 4K. This is one of the last just straight collector's edition Blu-rays, and first thing I noticed immediately was that you didn't get any kind of new original artwork for the slipcover, which that's unusual for Screen Factory. This is basically the regular the poster that you're used to. So, there is a reverse cover, but it's not very. It's not. Like I said, the original artwork you're seeing from Screen Factory, and like I said, the thing with the 4K titles, they basically stick with the regular poster art. There may be an alternate cover, but not really. I don't think they've had too much of the original artwork, so I don't know if they're going away from that, or it's just like a temporary thing. But I was a little let down with that in this. But again, that's a minor quibble. And this is the 4K scan, so about a year from now, look for this to show up in Screen Factory's 4K releases. And this is also a replacement for this DVD, this unrated version of Cursed that I've had for years and years. So, excuse me. The special features on here, here's the interesting thing about this. Every single special feature that is on this Blu-ray is on, this DVD. So, everything that's on here is on here. The only thing different is I don't think this has a theatrical version. I think it's just strictly the unrated version. This has both the theatrical and unrated versions, I believe. Yes, this one is a theatrical cut. Disc 2 is the unrated. But all the special features are exactly the same as just DVDs. No new special features. The only thing new on here is that both the theatrical and the unrated version are 4K scans. But that is it. So, pop out. And so here's your alternate artwork. It's just basically the same image, except it's red and it says unrated. So, a little disappointing. I mean, there's a distinguishment. Is that a word? There is a distinction. That's what I'm looking for. There is a distinction between your theatrical, your unrated artwork, but nothing that really sticks out. Here's your back of that slipcover. I didn't get to show you that. And the back of the Blu-ray proper, at least for the alternate. And then here's your discs. Straighten these out if I can. So, disc 1 theatrical, disc 2 unrated. And reverse artwork, Same as the slipcover. Again, I'm not. I mean, it's nice to have it. I mean, it is a distinction, but again, I think I would have liked something more original in the artwork department, because that's, again, maybe it's just because that's what I'm used to with Scream Factory. That's kind of been my only complaint with the 4K titles, is that they've, with the exception of like Krampus, I think Krampus had original artwork, I believe. At least it was differentiating from everything else, where all the other 4K titles I've seen so far are basically just the regular poster art. I mean, I don't know what the, that's what they're selling on the front of the slipcover anyways. I think Alligator was maybe a little different. Alligator had kind of a different artwork, where the reverse of that actually had the poster. So there's something a little bit different. But some of the other ones seem to be like a Howling, kind of the same thing. So, anyway, I can just go on and on about that. But, so that is it for this quick haul here. A couple, some Kino Lorber and some Scream / Shout Factory titles, and one Pixar. I have a few more things I'm waiting on. Now I have, I think, another Kino Lorber title coming in, possibly a few. I know I got a few things out there. I just lost track. I know in terms of like Vinegar Syndrome, they're halfway to Black Friday sales about to come up. Of course, sometime back I did a pre-order for some of those titles they'll be releasing for that, which I think they're still putting on sale. I have a couple other Scream Factories. I actually ordered something else that just released. It was the Craft 4K. It just released. I hadn't pre-ordered it because I was kind of up in the air about that. But I finally was like, well, I do have the Craft on DVD. Might as well upgrade it. Why not? So I did place an order for that. I'm waiting for the Happy Death Day 1 and 2 should be coming out here pretty soon, so looking forward to picking those up. And I know I've put in a few more pre-orders from the Kino Lorber titles, like I said earlier. So I got some, a lot of stuff working its way in, and I have a couple other titles that I picked up for possible review and After Dark segments. I really enjoyed doing that video. I don't know if you guys enjoyed it, but I really enjoyed doing and talking about that. So I have a couple more titles I've picked up that I think I may do a video or two for those going forward. So, anyways, if you enjoyed this, click thumbs up, share, subscribe, leave me a comment below, tell me if you picked up any of these, if you have memories of the Gong Show, or as fan, as you like Turning Red, or what are your thoughts on 3D? 3D, films of the 80s, the late 2000s. Are you hoping to make a 3D mix comeback? Which I think it will. It seems to be secular. Is it? I think that's the word. Secular. It was popular in the 50s. It kind of faded out. It became popular again in the 80s. Kind of faded out. Became popular in the 2010s. It's fading out. Every 20, 30 years it seems to pop back up. And I would say, maybe by 2030, 3D, maybe 4D by then. Who knows? But some kind of gimmick will find its way back. But in the meantime, some of these titles are fun to get. And I may do a video showcasing some of my 3D titles that I've got that I really enjoy. See how that goes. But, leave me a comment on that below. If nothing else, just say hi. Like I say, I always take hi. So, until next time, this is Chuck saying I will see you on the other side.